Hello and welcome to 7 Steps to Kicking the People-Pleasing Habit. I'm Lara Young from Design Your Fabulous Future. I'm really delighted to have you with me on this great webinar. I'm going to take you through 6 critical steps that you need to take if you've identified yourself as a people pleaser and you'd like to quit the people-pleasing habit for good. Okay, let's get started. So a little bit about me. I'm really passionate about personal and professional potential and really helping to develop those in other people. I've had over 20 years experience as a coach, course designer and facilitator. And for the last 8 and a bit years, I've been running my own coaching retreats and consulting businesses. I run retreats, so life coaching retreats and Build Your Backbone Sister retreats, NLP certification training, coach training, and leadership and talent development programs across the UK, USA, Asia, and Europe. So quite a bit of experience there, I guess, with helping people to develop their personal potential, their professional potential, and also along the way, a fair bit of experience with people pleasing and what it means to be a people pleaser. Because I've also done things in my life like running a 5-star guest house where I held creative writing workshops, cookery classes, and fitness boot camps. So you can imagine there's clients there who, needed to be happy with the service, as well as through obviously my coaching clients and other clients that I've had as well. I've also been a cook on radio, BBC Radio Leicester. And I've also judged in the British Pie Awards, and I love food. So I started a food festival regionally in the Vale of Belvoir called Graze the Vale. So I'm quite multi-passionate, as you might guess from this little bio. And I love doing different things and engaging my time with different things, my energy with different things. And that means that the very nature of it is that I want to make sure that people are happy, whether it's my friends and family in my personal life or whether it's people who I coach, clients that I have in my consulting business or guests at the guest house. I have had an interesting journey in my life as well because I got to a point in my life where I was single and not married, and I knew that I'd always wanted to be a mum. So I embarked upon the adoption process in the UK, and I became a mother of 2 children under 2 in a very short time frame. My daughter Grace came to me in the November, and then Sarah, my youngest, came to me in the following February. So it was a lot of change all at once. And the interesting thing was that when I was going through this process, and I knew that I would have 2 daughters, 2 sibling daughters, and that they would be young, they would be toddlers or babies. And people said to me at the time, be careful what you wish for. And I'm such a big believer in the law of attraction and manifestation and taking action towards your goals, so setting out what you want in life and then going after it, that my ultimate response was, I am careful what I wish for because I know that it's going to happen. So my intention really for this webinar is to share 7 steps for kicking the people-pleasing habit and to provide some resources to help you to build your backbone, sister. And we'll explore that a little bit more later. What you're seeing on the screen now is some photos from the guest house in the UK. So back garden there with the rear deck. That was the day the fence came down and the sheep came in. The farmer was none too pleased that day. And the photos on the right are actually of where I live now on the central coast of New South Wales. I relocated back to Australia in October of last year with my 2 young daughters so that we could be close to family and to our friends. They could grow up with their grandparents and cousins and aunts and uncles. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, when we think about the concept of people pleasing, a lot of people say, well, isn't it okay to people please? Don't we want to please people? And of course we do. So yes, people pleasing is okay. because wanting to please others is actually part of our DNA. It's how we're built. You know, we want other people to be happy. We want to be liked. And, you know, generally in life, we've taught to be nice. We've taught that we should be nice to people and accommodate their wishes and their needs, and to think about others, to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. Now, it's interesting because I sent a survey out asking people, are you a people pleaser? And if they identified as being a people pleaser, then what was the impact this had on them and their lives? So the response was really interesting, because some people said, you know, I love being a people pleaser. I know I'm a people pleaser and I'm not going to change. But the majority of people said, actually, I am a people pleaser. And I'm starting to recognize that it's a great thing, except when it means that I am sacrificing my time, my energy, and my own sense of self. And I'm starting to get feelings of guilt when I don't do things. I'm starting to resent my friends and family because I feel put upon, you know, their time is more precious than mine. And I start to feel a bit apathetic, you know, like, who cares? Where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. Or, you know, I'm so unused to choosing the film that we'll see, or deciding where we'll go on holiday, that I'm, you know, I have this sense of apathy. And with that also comes a sense of boredom, because I'm riding along in the tide with what other people want to do and be and have. And all these things, people who responded to the survey said, and I had over 100 people respond, you know, that all these things are the byproducts of being a people pleaser. And yes, the overwhelming response was, I do want to change. I want my life to be different. So how do you know you're a people pleaser? I published a blog post, 5 Signs You're a People Pleaser, over on the website, designyourfabulousfuture.com. It's also in the Huffington Post, but we'll just run through some of the signs here. So you may be a people pleaser if you say yes when you mean no. If you feel the need to apologise in everyday language, you use phrases that are apologetic in their very nature. You make yourself small, you excuse yourself. So you say sorry, or, oh, does that make sense? You're wanting people to approve of and to be pleased by what you're doing. And in doing that, you're making yourself small. Interesting, I found when I was living in the UK that there's a lot of apologetic language. So sorry doesn't just mean its purest form of, apology. What it actually means is, you know, we say sorry if you bump into someone. I'm sorry if you can't hear somebody. It's this apologetic framework that we've started to live in. We begin our lives, or we begin statements, by apologizing. The next one is, if you prioritize others' needs at the expense of your own. Now, for the mothers out there amongst us, and the fathers too, for all parents, you know, often it is the case we prioritize our children's needs above our own. We prioritize their desires and wants above our own. Of course we do, because we love them and we want them to be happy. Where it becomes an issue is where it becomes at the expense of ourselves, you know, of our own wants and desires, where it becomes at the expense of us being a positive role model in their lives. You know, the last thing I want my 2 daughters to say is, oh, you know, mum won't mind, she goes along with anything. Or if they go to choose me a birthday present or cook me a meal, I don't want them to have no idea whatsoever what I like, what I want. I don't want them growing up thinking that I don't have goals and dreams and aspirations, that there are things in life that I want to have and be and do. And that's so important. So yes, I will cook the meals that they enjoy most. You know, I will go to places that perhaps ordinarily I wouldn't want to go, because my daughters will love and enjoy it. But there's a balance there that we need to strike around becoming and being those wonderful positive role models that our children need, so that they in turn, as they grow up, have a clear identity and a clear sense of purpose and confidence and esteem and, you know, a tribe of friends and all those wonderful things that we know are possible in life. So if you're afraid of making other people feel bad, you may be a people pleaser. Oh, if I don't go along with this, then so-and-so is going to feel bad. Or if I don't go to the Japanese restaurant that they want to go to, they're going to feel bad. Firstly, we all know intellectually that people are responsible for their own feelings, thoughts, and emotions. So you can never make someone feel bad. They can choose their emotional response based on what happens. But the other thing is that actually often I tend to feel worse or feel negative emotions if I don't know what someone wants, because you're never quite sure if you're pleasing them. You know, if they are happy, are they happy? So as a people pleaser, if you tend not to actually do things or speak up because you don't want other people to feel bad, actually they could be feeling bad because you're not telling them what they want. It's kind of a catch-22, that one. You avoid conflict and don't express your opinions for an easy life. So this again can lead to boredom and apathy in you if you're a people pleaser, because you just want to go along. You want an easy ride. You don't want to argue or cause controversy. If someone's expressing an opinion that you disagree with, you perhaps don't say anything and you talk about it with your partner in the car on the way home. So it's interesting because what happens is, in not expressing our opinions, people think we don't have any and they may overlook us. But also we forget what they are. We lose them, because if all we're ever doing is listening to and accepting what other people are saying and not engaging in a conversation or a discourse about certain things, then we actually lose that part of ourselves that has the ability to decide and to frame, well, what do we want? What do we like and what do we dislike? They fear people not liking them if they say no or don't agree. So if I'm a people pleaser, and I am a reformed or reforming people pleaser, you know, if I don't agree with people or if I have to say no to them, yeah, I do worry a little bit. They won't like me anymore. But hey, you know, is that, when I think that, I think to myself, actually, is that reasonable? Because has there ever been a time when someone said no to me and I've thought, well, that's it, they're not my friend anymore, or no, I'm not going to contact them, I'm wiping them off the face of the earth, you know, I'm deleting them from my iPhone, my contact list, they're not getting a Christmas card this year? Of course I haven't. And it's interesting because what I find as I look across my life and the relationships I have, that the people who do know what they want, who say no, look, no, I can't do that this weekend, or look, I'd prefer it if you came here instead of us coming there. People who express their opinions and who say no in whatever form that takes, you know, you have that mutual respect for and that high regard for, because they are letting you know about what they want in life. So, you know, whenever I think about that, I think, has anyone ever said no to me and I've not liked them as a result? And the answer is no, unequivocally. The other thing is that, and this is where I guess it's the double-edged sword, because people pleasers tend to feel taken advantage of and then don't do anything about it. You start to get to the point where you resent others putting upon you. You start to resent, in some ways, being the go-to person. And hey, being the go-to person, being the one that everyone relies on for great advice and information is fantastic. Of course it is. You know, how good for our self-esteem and confidence is that? Everyone wants to come to me for advice, to know what to do. But actually, if that's constant and it's not reciprocated, then you can actually feel like it's, you know, it's not a two-way thing. It's not positive. So in that sense, it's not, you know, it's an indication that you are people pleasing if you don't actually learn to set those boundaries. And the other thing that can happen as a people pleaser is that you're losing time and energy working on other people's agendas. So listen, you know, I'm putting up a new pergola on the weekend. I got it down at Mitre 10 and I'm not quite sure how to put it up. Can you pop over and give me a hand? So someone comes over and they give me a hand and they're spending their time and energy putting up my pergola, but who's going to enjoy it at the end of the day? Most of the time, it's me, isn't it? So, you know, there is give and take in relationships. How much of your time and energy goes to working on what other people want rather than on what you want in life? So there's just some indicators. You may have said, yes, you recognize yourself in some of them. You may have said, no, actually, I don't think I am a people pleaser. But whether you think you are or you think you aren't, it's worthwhile joining me for the next few slides as I take you through some tips for actually building your backbone a bit in this area. Okay. We're going to go through the 7 steps in a minute, and I just want to remind you that it does take 28 days to create a new habit. This is your opportunity to start doing this today. So start now. Do the exercises as we go through. Write down the tips and techniques that you'll start using, and that will help you to please others by pleasing yourself first. So make sure you've got a pen and paper handy, and we will get started. Okay, one of the most critical things I believe that you need to do to kick the people-pleasing habit is to get clarity about what you want. Do you actually know what you want in life? Because knowing what you want in life is key to shaping the decisions you make and the actions you take every day to move you closer to your goals. So often in life, I hear people say, particularly when they come for coaching, I don't know what I want. It's one of the most difficult questions for people to answer. And the reason it's difficult is because often they've never taken the time to sit down and work out what they want. We're going through a great 7-day challenge at the moment over in the Life Design Mastermind. It's a 7-day quick start for getting what you want in life. And a lot of the people in there are really starting to open their eyes to the fact that they have never sat down and thought about, you know, what do I want in terms of my lifestyle, my career, money, love, well-being, or self-development. There's a picture of the wheel of life up there, and we've done an activity around looking at all those areas and digging deep into getting people to think about, well, what actually do I really want? What do I like? What do I not like? And if you haven't taken the opportunity to get clarity about what you want, it makes it very difficult for others to know what you want too. And it also makes it difficult for you to have a purpose which will guide your decisions. Because once you know what you want, you can set the priorities to get what you want. And every single decision that you make can be based on the answer to the question, will doing this move me closer to or further away from my goals? It helps you in that decision-making process about how you spend your time, how you spend your energy, how you spend your thinking, what your mindset is. So I'd really encourage you as a very first step to do any activities you can to get clear about what you want in life. At the end of the webinar, I'm going to email you with a link to the Life Design Mastermind, so you're part of that group, and also to a free clarity course, Clarity 101, which will really help you just guide you through some of those thinking processes. So key, number 1, get clear about what you want. Number 2 is listen to your thoughts and feelings and make friends with your intuition. Tune in to what you want to do. When asked to do something or go somewhere, pay attention to how you feel, because your body, along with your thoughts, that little voice inside your head, will know the answer. So often we ignore our emotional response to people asking us to do, be, or have things. And it's important to pay attention to both the way you feel and the voice in your head. Now, sometimes it's really obvious. The little voice will say, oh, hell yeah, let's go for it. Or hell no, I don't want to do that. What I often find, though, is that because as people pleasers, we often dull down what we want instinctively, that little voice or those emotions may not come to the surface as readily as we might like. So remember that indifference or apathy may arise, and you're building a new muscle, so it's a matter of practice. So in this situation, what I would do is say, give yourself options. Would I rather do this or that? Would I rather build a pergola today at Lara's house, or would I rather go down to the beach and spend time with my family? Okay, weigh it up. You'll get an emotional response to it. And important to listen to the voice and the emotions that you get. Does it feel good? Do it. Does it feel bad? Indication that maybe your answer needs to be no. The next step is to set boundaries for yourself and also to respect the boundaries of others. Now, the first thing you need to do actually is to love yourself enough to set boundaries, and we'll get onto that next, because your time and energy are precious. We've all got that friend who turns up late to every time we meet, and then we start telling them, don't we? Actually, if we know that we've got to be somewhere for 10, we'll tell them it's 9, because we know then we've got half a chance of getting somewhere on time, or that they'll be there when we go to meet them. Because your time and energy are so precious, I want you to guard those a little bit. You know, you get to choose how to use them. The overwhelming theme throughout the survey of people pleasers was, it's my time and my energy, my balance, that is most impacted by my people pleasing habit. Remember that in setting boundaries, you teach people how to treat you by teaching them what is and what isn't okay. So taking up lots of your time to do something that is basically their agenda may not be okay for you. Maybe it is. Only you can decide that. And only you can teach people what feels right, what's right for you. Please remember that you can't be everything to everyone. You know, some days I think, oh, I'd love to clone myself so I can be here, there, and everywhere. And, you know, sure, it would be nice. The reality is, though, we do need to learn to set the boundaries. And sometimes we're actually setting boundaries on our own overcommitment, on our own desire to please people and to be in 16 places at once. We're setting boundaries on that by saying, actually, I need to take stock here. What do I really want to do? What is my purpose? What am I setting out to do? And if I do this, how is it going to impact me in other areas? Now, if I'm running around after other people, or if I'm going and babysitting my friend's dog for a weekend, what does that take away from my experience? Also, the boundaries don't have to be a matter of saying no. They can be setting boundaries around time. So I can do it. Sure, I can do it. I can be there. Look, I can give you a couple of hours between 10 and 12. How does that sound? Or, you know, that friend, Negative Nelly, who rings you and wants to go through every drama. Well, look, I'm happy to talk to you about this, but I'm in the middle of something right now. I'll call you right back, or I'll call you back. That's really setting a boundary. You know, you can't ring me every time something happens necessarily, and I'm going to drop everything, particularly if there are other priorities and other things I need to get on with in my life. Yes, I care about you, but I also care about myself, and here are the boundaries. I will talk to you. I can't do it now. What I'd like you to do is try words and phrases on that help you to set boundaries. What will you say the next time you're asked to do something, be somewhere, or listen to Negative Nelly? Now, I don't know what's going on in your life, but I do know that it's really useful to be able to be confident when you're expressing what your boundaries are. Boundaries of time, boundaries of energy. So, for example, it may be, look, I can't do it today. I really just need some time at home. I've got a few bits and pieces I need to do. I've had a busy week and I just need to relax. How about X? Express an alternative. There are lots of different ways that you know that you can communicate your boundaries with other people. Please make a note and write some of them down. Okay, the next one is to approve of and love yourself first. Oh, this is one of those subjects, isn't it? How much do you love yourself? How would you rate your confidence and your self-esteem? For a lot of people, this is a very difficult subject. If I ask clients to write a list of all the things that they love in their life, very often they don't even feature on that list. And it's really important that we develop the ability to recognize how wonderful we are and to love ourselves. Because, pardon me, if you don't love yourself, then it's very, very difficult for others to as well, and to attract love into your life too. So do all that you can to love and approve of yourself, and no person, obstacle or situation will control how you feel about you. It's interesting because some people are on lots of different spectrums of emotion and experience, loving themselves and not, confidence and not, self-esteem and not, self-efficacy and not. And one of the interesting things for me is that there are extremes of how do I know, that I'm valuable, that I'm loved. And on one end, it's an extrinsic, outside myself experience. So how I know that I'm loved is that people will tell me and show me that I'm loved. The other end of the spectrum is an internal knowing. And that internal knowing is called intrinsic knowledge. I just know I love myself. I love myself, and yeah, it's great when other people tell me and show me that they love me in different ways. But I don't need them to do that, because I know that I love myself and I care and value myself. Very rare to find people at either end of those spectrums, but it is important that we cultivate that balance in some ways, overcome it. Because I have faith in my abilities. I love myself as a person. I've got amazing qualities. I've got amazing gifts to give and share with the world. Now, this is a muscle that needs developing for a lot of people. And I'll be sharing a special exercise in the Life Design Mastermind called Mirror Work in the next few weeks. So jump on over there, and if you'd like to be part of that. I'd like to remind you, though, that you won't be liked by everyone, and you won't like everyone either. There are people in your life that perhaps you don't like as much as others, that you don't enjoy their company as much as others, and that's fine. That's how we are as human beings. We can't love everyone in the same way that we can't be everything to everybody. But learning to love yourself first is the key to attracting loving relationships into your life. So here's a little activity for you. Write a love letter to yourself. Write down the 10 qualities that you love about you. Now, you can take as much or as little time as you like to do this, but please do make sure that you do. And when you've done it, jump on over to the Life Design Mastermind on Facebook and let me know that you have, or even just email me. Respond to my email where I'm going to send you the link to that group, and just let me know the 10 qualities that you love most about you. You'll be surprised how you will uncover some amazing things about yourself. So looking forward to hearing the responses from that activity. The next step in kicking the habit, step 5, is to learn to say no with elegance, firmness, and grace. Because you're clear about what you want in life and you know what your priorities are, so you've got clarity, which was step 1, these priorities, your purpose is your yesometer, so that you know what to say no to. Okay, what I mean by that, if you know what you want in life, if you know what you want to do, be, and have, then you just, that's your frame of reference. Does doing this, being here, going there, helping, bring me further, bring me closer to or further away from what I want in life? If you want, if one of the things you want in life is loving, supporting, give-take relationships, then maybe yes, well, this is one way that I can, show up this way in the world. I can go and help someone and be that person. Be clear about what you want. Even if you have, your goals or your dreams written down somewhere for easy reference as you start off on this journey, yes, this is what I want, and tick it off. Remember, when you say yes to others, make sure that you're not saying no to yourself. What do I mean by this? If you're saying yes, there's something that needs to give in either time or energy or anything else. Does it lift you up, that experience? What value do you get emotionally? Are you detracting or taking away from something else that you want to do by saying yes to other people? Remember that no is a complete sentence. You don't have to justify it or go into lots of detailed explanation, because often what will happen then is there'll be wriggle room, there'll be room for change. So simply saying no with elegance, firmness and grace is a skill, and it's an important one to develop. You may not feel comfortable with doing this straight away, so you can use stall tactics. Now, stall tactics include things like saying, "Can I get back to you tomorrow?" And remember that people generally will not fall apart if you say no. As I said earlier, when people say no to you, you accept it. You accept that they're unable to do, be, or have whatever you've asked. And you don't fall apart, and people won't fall apart if you say no either. And it's learning to say it in a way that conveys a message that is strong enough and gentle enough at the same time, that lets people know where you are in relation to what they've asked you to do. So the exercise around this one is to say no to 3 things that you don't want to do, be, or have each day, and then start simple. For example, say no to a coffee. Do you want to go to a coffee? No, I've got plans. Or an event at the weekend. Start small, start simple, start saying no. The next one is to show guilt the door. Now, when you do start kicking the people-pleasing habit, guilt's going to show up pretty strong. He's going to slink in when you least expect it. He'll sidle up to you and say, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that," or, "Oh, gee, that wasn't very nice." He'll hit you in the stomach with that churning feeling and thoughts of regret and self-doubt that grow and linger. Tell him, "Thank you, I'm in charge now. You're not wanted here." And just watch him go. He may take a while to leave, and imagine how relieved you'll feel when you have the power to take action and make decisions without him around. Someone once said that guilt is to the spirit what pain is to the body, and that's so true. And we need to, in getting rid of this people-pleasing habit, to actually be prepared for guilt and to be prepared to say no. That is not an emotion that I'm going to feel anymore, because I'm going to stand my ground. I know what I want and I believe in what I want. The final step, step 7, is to build a tribe who value, love and respect you. As a recovering people pleaser, you may already recognise that there are 1 or 2 people in your life who bring out the best or worst in your people pleasing tendencies. So now's the time to reassess your relationships and to think about whether or not they're balanced. Are they balanced in terms of give and take, or do you always have the giver hat on? Make a list, take action, make a list of all the key relationships in your life. Are there people who drain more of your time and energy than others, and perhaps you don't get a lot of value or positivity back? I'm thinking of Negative Nelly, for example. And then think about what you'd like to do about that. Do you need to see less of that person? The other thing to do is to get clarity about what you want. Tune into your thoughts and feelings. Love yourself. Learn to say no. Respect your boundaries. Show guilt the door, and decide to surround yourself with people who want your happiness too. Really important that we surround ourselves with people who are pleased because we're pleased. So embedding the 7 steps, remember you are building a new muscle. We're building your backbone, sister. And it does take practice. It's daily steps, daily actions, doing some of the exercises I've explained to you, getting clarity about what you want in life. You need to really know your purpose to kick the people-pleasing habit. So, as I said, I'll be emailing you a couple of options for getting clarity, for knowing what your purpose is in life. You also need to build your confidence your self-esteem, your self-efficacy, your belief that you are good at things, that you have mastery in some areas in your life, that you can create your tribe and surround yourself with. And also to be flexible when things don't go as planned. That's one of the key things for getting what we want in life, is to actually have the ability to recognize when things aren't working. I guess like you've done by being on this webinar in terms of your people-pleasing habit, and then being prepared to take the action that will make a positive change, so that you are able to re-navigate and get back on track, to get back towards your purpose. So in terms of next steps, my gifts to you are to join the interactive group, the Life Design Mastermind, over on Facebook. And as I say, I will pop the details in an email to you after this webinar. And I'll also send you, at the moment we're going through a clarity challenge. It's a 7-day challenge, and today's actually day 4. Still time to jump in and join in. It's a 7-day quick start to getting what you want in life. And I'll also send you the link to Clarity at 101, which is a 5-day e-course that you can take free as a gift from me to start to build that purpose, which clarity was the very first step, if you remember, that we talked about in kicking this people-pleasing habit. And you'll find links to these in your inbox soon. But in the meantime, I'd just like to introduce you to something very special and dear to my heart. I developed a program. It's called Build Your Backbone, Sister. And it is a program that has been based, it's on a program that I have run. It's a resilience program, based on a program that I've run live for over 600 people, 660 people. And it is really about helping you to ditch your people-pleasing for good and stop settling for silver when gold is within your reach. It's an online and group coaching program, and we go through the concepts of purpose, so we really get clear about what your purpose is in life. We look at confidence, self-esteem, loving yourself, all those wonderful things that we've talked about as part of the 7 steps of kicking the people-pleasing habit. We also look at strategies for building and developing flexibility, so learning how to bounce back and when things don't go as planned, how to navigate around obstacles, and how to really keep on track when things perhaps don't go right, and to make changes when you notice that things aren't happening in the way that you want them to. We also look at how to build a tribe of people in a community so that you are supported and that you have that inner strength, and that drive and that motivation and everything to go forward within the context of a wonderful group around you of friends and people who are like-minded and support you in your dreams and your vision. The program is a virtual classroom with daily activities. There's a great Facebook community, and 2 live weekly group coaching calls. So there's a lot of interaction with me on the program. Every week I'll be explaining the context for that week's activities, and then catching up and touching base, answering any questions and guiding you through some of the concepts, and coaching you through some of the challenges perhaps that you'll face as you go through and uncover areas that you can develop in terms of your purpose, confidence, flexibility, and building that tribe. So, and it runs for 6 weeks, the program, so it's 6 weeks in duration. Now, the program is going to start on the 11th of January next year, so 11th of January 2016, so it's a couple of months away. And I thought that because this webinar is about people-pleasing, it'd be a really great gift to you to actually offer you an early birdie sign-up bonuses. So this isn't your ordinary early bird. This is like early birdie sign-up bonuses. You'll have something to look forward to starting, getting your teeth into in the new year. The early birdie price is 497 Australian dollars, so $500 off. You'll also get, if you take this offer up, one-on-one with me, before we begin, and a Kickstart pre-work package of the 6 ebook series, and that will really help you to hone in on your purpose. And if you are looking for clarity, that's a really great way to get it. There's 6 ebooks in the series looking at different areas of your life, your lifestyle, your career, money, love, health and well-being, and your self-development. So this is the this is an offer that obviously is for you guys as being part of this webinar, and the exchange rate is really the Aussie dollar is struggling at the moment. So the exchange rates, they were current as of last night, so I've just popped those down there. So I will post the link into the chat bar now, and I will also send it through in your email. So to sum up, really, I think the key things for kicking people pleasing are knowing your purpose, so knowing what you want in life and getting real clarity. They are setting your boundaries and respecting other people's boundaries as well. They are being able to say no with grace and elegance, surrounding yourself with people with whom you can have that give and take relationship with. Recognizing that it's really important that you value and love yourself, and you show yourself the same love and respect that you show to other people. That for some people is quite a tricky one, and I do encourage you to write down that list of 10 qualities that you love about yourself. You know, it's a journey. Whenever you kick a habit of any kind, you're replacing it with something else. You're replacing it with new ways of thinking, new ways of believing, new self-beliefs, new ways of encouraging your mind to support you in the journey. Start saying no. Learn to do so elegantly. Write down some strategies that you're going to use for saying no when you don't want to do, be, or have something that someone's suggesting to you. I really look forward to hearing from you about your thoughts on the webinar. You can email me, lara@designyourfabulousfuture.com, or you can touch base with me over on the Life Design Mastermind. And again, I'll send that link through to you to join. I really have enjoyed this time with you this morning, and I look forward to seeing you on another webinar soon and meeting you in the Life Design Mastermind. Thank you.